Here are 3 steps to writing at university that you need to follow if you're a student. They will help you write faster and better and get better grades. First of all, you want to make sure that the main point of your sentence is at the beginning of your sentence and never at the end. And this applies to every type of assessment, not just your long or larger ones, for example, essays, reports, and case study notes. It also applies to your shorter ones, for example, practicals, clinics, and tutorials. We never want to make somebody read an entire sentence before they get to the main point, because what that means is our sentence is usually confusing. It's harder for somebody to understand, and that also means it's harder for somebody to read, harder for somebody to mark, and that means we usually get worse grades. The good thing is it's an easy thing to fix. If you've already written out your assessment, read through each sentence and see if the main point of it is at the beginning, or if somebody's actually had to read all the way through the words before they find out what the main point was. If that's the case, usually you just need to swap the sentence around. Take what was written at the end of the sentence and put it at the beginning, and then have the other parts of the sentence afterwards. Whether that's more detail or information or something that you're using to back up or caveat your main point, you can have that after it. You can also apply this rule to any aspect of writing. It's especially powerful for emails. When you put that main point at the beginning of your sentence, you guarantee that the person reading your email or your request is not going to be confused by what you're asking for. And that's always helpful. The second step to writing at a university level is to simplify your words and your sentences. What can happen at university is we're reading a lot of journal articles and books, and the longer we are in a degree, so from first year to second year to third year, our terminology that we're reading within our discipline becomes more complex. And what can often happen is we start to write that into our own writing. And what can happen is our sentences can become overly confusing simply because we're using complex words. For example, even using the words like furthermore or moreover or additionally usually aren't needed. There's nothing wrong with using the word also. Or we start using the word utilize all the time because we read it a lot, when actually the word use is just fine. Ideally, academic writing is clear and concise, and we get that clearness, that clarity from writing simple words that everybody can understand. And that's why journals like Nature are so powerful, because when you publish in Nature, you have to write in words that everybody can understand and not somebody just in your discipline. That's the power of simple and clear writing. You want everybody to be able to understand you. And that makes you a more powerful communicator. The trap that we fall into when we're at university is that we're reading a lot of complex words and we start to use them in our own work. But just because you see it published doesn't mean that's the best way of writing, I promise you. The third step is to have short sentences. Most sentences should be between 10 and 25 words. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a long sentence at university in the sense that you can write up to 50 words if you need to. But there's more power in shorter sentences. What can easily happen when we're writing our reports or our essays is we keep adding to a sentence more and more and more information or more detail or an example. And what you want to do is separate out those sentences into 2 or more, if that's the case. That gives each sentence, each piece of information, or each example more power, and it's clearer. Remember, when your sentences are short and simple and have the main point at the beginning, you make it easier for you to write each of those sentences, which also means it's faster for you to write all of your assessments. And in turn, it makes it easier for somebody else to read your work and give it a great grade.